Alright guys, what's going on? Welcome in. So look, in this one, I really wanted to talk about a couple teams that I feel like could be really solid fits for Deshaun Watson. As we all know, Watson's unhappy down in Houston. There's a lot happening right now with that franchise. They still don't have a head coach. And, I mean, man, as we stand right now, I feel like the chances of Watson being traded are a lot higher today than they were a month ago, 2 months ago. So with that being said, let's hop into the top 5 landing spots for Deshaun Watson. So the first team on the list is the Washington football team, okay? And for whatever reason, I don't think I'll ever understand it, but people want to sweep this team under the rug. Nobody wants to talk about Washington ever as it pertains to upgrading the quarterback position. Nobody. They almost want to discredit them. Oh, they're 7-9. They're not even a 500 team. They lucked into the playoffs. They play in the NFC least. Anybody can win in that division. But when I look at what Washington and what Ron Rivera did in 2020, I thought it was absolutely outstanding. Outstanding. You're taking a look at what Washington was in 2019. They were the second worst team in the league, 3-13. Rivera walks in the building year 1 in Washington, gets them to the playoffs, wins 7 games, battling cancer, essentially a revolving door at the quarterback position. Is it Dwayne Haskins? Is it Kyle Allen? Is it Alex Smith? Is it Taylor Heineke? It was a complete turnstile at that position, the most important position on the field. The team is filled with young players. So for a guy to walk in and not only just essentially double their win total or do more than double their win total, but to get this team to the playoffs, to battle the NFC champions to the end, I thought it was fantastic. I think Washington right now, a team with I believe 32 to $35 million in cap space, is a great fit for Deshaun Watson. Again, I feel like this team checked it down like every passing play. They ran it, they checked it down. But all in all, Washington's a team that plays in a weak division. They have a great offensive line. They might lose Brandon Sheriff, but they have a great defense that's young, it's up and coming, it's hungry. They have a great coaching staff in place. Ron Rivera, Jack Del Rio. They created a culture in year 1. This is a winning mindset. They have a winning mentality. I think Washington's on the come up. I think Washington makes a ton of sense for Deshaun Watson. And another thing to note about Dan Snyder, this guy wants an elite quarterback. I feel like the quarterback position keeps Dan Snyder up at night. I really do believe that. I mean, you're looking at what he gave up to go up and draft RG3. That didn't work out. He didn't pay Kirk Cousins. Why? Yeah, Kirk Cousins was good. He got them to the playoffs. He did some really good things, but he wasn't elite, so he wasn't getting that big contract. He wasn't. They're trying again, right? Dwayne Haskins, bringing him in the building. He's not elite. He's not working out. Let's move on. I think Snyder wants an elite quarterback. Now you have a potential top 6 quarterback wanting out of Houston. I think Dan Snyder's not afraid to offer up a ton of draft capital. They have a ton of young players to also offer if Houston wants to maybe jumpstart the process and go after a guy. And again, they have the cap space to bring Watson in. So I think Washington makes a lot of sense. Team number 2 on this list, and as much as I hate to admit it, we have to call it like we see it and be as unbiased as possible here. It's the Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins make a lot of sense for Deshaun Watson. This is a Dolphins squad that won 10 games last season with a horrible offense. Ryan Fitzpatrick and Tua, they weren't getting it done. The stats weren't there. The production was not there. This is a team that's built off of great defensive play. They take the football away. They do a really, really good job on defense, especially in the secondary. They have a solid head coach in the building with Brian Flores. This team is going in the right direction. Again, a 10-win season with bottom 5 quarterback play. Insert a top 6 quarterback into that Dolphins team, and to me, that's a 12-win squad. They also have multiple first-round picks that they can offer to Houston. Interestingly enough, one of those picks, the 3rd overall, it was Houston's pick initially, but you can't look backwards in life. You always have to be moving forward, especially when you're running a team. So Houston right now, it makes sense to flip Deshaun Watson to Miami. They are in the AFC, so you have to kind of, hold your breath a little bit and hope that the Dolphins don't haunt you for the rest, for the next 15 years, considering Deshaun Watson's 25 years old. But Miami, they make a lot of sense. Devontae Parker's under contract for next season. He's not even getting paid like $10 million. You have, I think, $25 million in space for this upcoming season. They have a couple of really big contracts on the books, for the next couple of seasons with guys like Byron Jones and Kyle Van Noy, but they can make it work, right? If you're getting a guy like Deshaun Watson in the building, you're going to be trading away draft picks, guys that you don't have to pay. you can make it work financially. I think it makes a lot of sense for the Miami Dolphins. Team number 3, the Chicago Bears. I look at this Bears team, it makes so much sense, man. If the Bears can pull it off and get Deshaun Watson in the building, it would be absolutely tremendous. We all know the issues that the Bears have had pertaining to the quarterback position, right? Nick Foles didn't work out. Trubisky didn't work out. Jay Cutler couldn't get the job done. Who else? Mike Lennon, overpaid, didn't work out. The Bears have so many pieces in place with pass rushers and young secondary members. They have everything. They have everything. I can see Matt Nagy making a push. He's on his last leg. I could see, him screaming to ownership. If we don't, my job is on the line here. We need to go get a top 6 quarterback in Deshaun Watson. Let's make it happen. And I get that there's, rumors of Deshaun Watson in Chicago and whatnot, but Matt Nagy wasn't the coach. Also, you have to look at the cap situation. The Bears, they're going to have to make some moves, right? I think they're $10 million over. It's an issue. It's an issue. All right. So you're going to have to figure out what to do with Nick Foles' contract. You could probably cut Jimmy Graham, save some money there, save like $7 million. You can make it work. Obviously, you're going to be trading picks, so you wouldn't have to pay the rookie class coming in. I think if the Bears can pull off a trade for Deshaun Watson, again, I think Nagy will push for that. And something I quickly want to make a note of, Matt Nagy came from Kansas City. Why is that relevant? Because Deshaun Watson has expressed interest in playing in that Andy Reid, Doug Peterson, Matt Nagy, Frank Reich, Eric Bieniemy style of system. That was the whole point, the whole reason why he wanted Bieniemy in Houston, to implement that offensive scheme. He thinks he can excel. He thinks he can have a lot of success. Chicago, Matt Nagy, he knows the system like the back of his hand. He currently is doing a lot of things that I feel like would be a great systematic fit for Watson. I think you're looking at Chicago, it's extremely attractive. They have the defense. They are a win now team. Matt Nagy will make a push. You're looking at what Ryan Pace has done in the past. When Ryan Pace identifies a guy and he knows, okay, this is the guy I want, he will do anything possible to get him. Mike Lennon, I want Mike Lennon. We need to overpay for him. Mitchell Trubisky, I don't care what anybody else thinks of him. I don't care what the media is going to say of me. I'm drafting Mitch Trubisky. I'm trading up one spot to go get Mitch Trubisky. I want him. He's my guy. I want Khalil Mack. He's a premier pass rusher that will help this defense. I will literally give you 2 first-round picks. I will give the Raiders whatever they want. I want Khalil Mack. I want to go get him. They got the job done. I think if Chicago wants Deshaun Watson, if Pace and Nagy agree, we could be on the way out. We're a win now team. We have the defense in place. Yes, we're probably going to lose Allen Robinson, but if we can make it work with Deshaun Watson, we need to exhaust every opportunity that we can. Let's do it. They can pull the trigger. They've done it before. So I think Chicago, if they can make it work with the cap, makes a ton of sense. Team number 4, the New York Jets. You're looking at what the Jets can offer to Houston to get Deshaun Watson. It's unmatched. No other team out there has enough ammunition to go out and get a Deshaun Watson. They have 4 first-round picks in the next 2 years, 2 of which are coming from Seattle with the whole Jamal Adams trade. They have multiple third-round picks. They have the money to pay him. They have $63, $62 million in cap space available this season, and they can pay him throughout the course of 2025 up until Watson's contract ends. Of course, you're looking at where the Jets are. The defense isn't the issue. They just brought Robert Saleh in, a guy who Watson really likes. He wanted him in Houston. The offense is the issue. Sam Darnold, Joe Flacco, the offense, Gase, the whole thing last year was a complete abomination. The Jets need a ton of new faces on the offensive side of the football. So of course it makes sense for the Jets to explore this opportunity, to get a top 6, top 7 quarterback in the building right now at 25 years old. You have the money to pay him. The quarterback contracts are only going up. You have extra draft capital to kind of, to help with that initial offer to Houston. You're looking at the offense last year. It was such a joke, so embarrassing. The quarterback play was a complete disgrace. Such a disgrace. I can't even get down that rabbit hole right now, but you're looking at where the Jets are right now. It is a 2-14 football team. This is a team right now, and this is one of the reasons that make a lot of Jets fans out there pause. They want to pump the brakes, and they're saying to themselves, this is the first time in a long time that the Jets have had multiple first-round picks. Our future is looking bright. We can really replenish this team with young talent. We have holes all over the roster: cornerback, outside linebacker, edge rusher, what's happening at strong safety, wide receiver, running back, interior offensive line, quarterback as well. I mean, look at so many positions that we have to fill, that we have to we have to look at. We're also implementing a new scheme, both on offense and defense. There's going to be a lot of moving parts. So there is kind of that flip side. There is that counter argument that a lot of Jets fans have, and they're all valid points. So that's something that the Jets are going to have to take a look at and ask themselves moving forward. But nonetheless, when you're taking a look at all of the available teams out there for Watson, the Jets make sense. So the fifth and final team on this list, I actually wanted to dig deep and try to find a sleeper. I always like trying to find these sleeper teams that could be involved with a potential trade. So I'm going to go with the Carolina Panthers. I of course, like we all could have went with the Saints, but they're in cap hell. Could have went with San Francisco, a possible other Watson destination. But I think the Carolina Panthers actually make a lot of sense. If they're okay with mortgaging the future with draft picks and whatnot, this is a team right now that's on the come up. This is a young team with a brand new coaching staff, Matt Rule, Joe Brady. They're doing innovative things. They get players to buy in. They have a lot of weapons on the offensive side of the football. Robbie Anderson, Christian McCaffrey, right? DJ Moore, an up-and-coming young defense that's flying around the football field. This Panthers team is on the come up. Carolina, it's a couple hours away from it, from where Deshaun Watson grew up. He obviously played college ball in Clemson. He's kind of going to be in the area that he knows very, very well. I could see him wanting to. I could see the appeal there. I have a lot to work with in Carolina. A bunch of young players all coming up at the same time. An exciting young coaching staff that really is going to tailor the offense around myself. Unlike the early days of Bill O'Brien and stuff like that. It's going to be close to home. I'm going to be playing in front of my friends, my family, every home game. I could see the draw with that. Carolina's not a team that's sold on Teddy Bridgewater, and quite frankly, you can maybe even include him in the deal to Houston to clear some of that cap space. But man, I really think Carolina could be a sleeper. But the question remains the same. Is Tepper, is Matt Rule, are these guys okay with dealing the draft picks? And I think the answer would be yes. So I'll leave it there. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Jets, Dolphins, Bears, Washington, and Carolina. Of course, we left a couple teams off the list like the New Orleans Saints, like the San Francisco 49ers. Those two teams I would assume would be in on the Deshaun Watson sweepstakes. But I left those teams off just because I really wanted that sleeper. So anyway, let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Where do you think Deshaun Watson will end up if he gets traded at all? Because there's also that rumor floating out there as well that Houston, they still think that they can mend that relationship. So I'll leave it there. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for sticking with this channel. And as always, go Jets.